Get ready for a fun and insightful ride as we break down our 2024 stats, mileage, fuel costs, and camping expenses. And we share a tool that helps us save big. How did we get those savings? We primarily use open roads when we're hauling. Meanwhile, Jeremy takes on crazy high winds during drive day. And hopefully this wind dies down. Right now,
it's not bad. It's not bad right now.
Yeah, the rig has been doing a little bit of moving today, and that is not normal. And we have a hilarious debate about Sharticles. If you know, you know.
Dropping the kids off at the pool. Breathe through your mouth. I'm like, I'm not breathing through my mouth.
To top it off, we explore Manatee Springs State Park, where we catch a glimpse of a group of manatees and spot a few alligators. You won't want to miss it.
Okay, so we are about to leave Tampa here, MacDill Air Force Base. We've had a good time. It's been relaxing. Like we said in the previous video, spent some good time with family and had some good holidays. But one thing I wanted to point out before we leave here, Candace is about to start bringing in slides and so forth. Gonna hitch up, get down the road. But a few episodes ago, you know, we bought the new e-bikes, and we asked everybody about, you know, how you travel with your e-bikes and where you store them, and just to kind of give us some ideas. Well, one of the ideas we went with, and I think that's where we were always leaning, was to just go ahead and get a bike rack. So we got a bike rack, we got a cover for it, and something that I think it was one of you guys that suggested was getting the cargo net to go over the cover, because that was kind of one of my things that I didn't want to do, was have a bike, the cover back here, the bike cover, flapping around in the wind as we're driving down the road, because it's just not going to last very long if we do that. So one of you guys suggested the cargo net. Great suggestion. So we're going to see how this works out. One thing that we did notice, because we have the rear storage, so this door pops up, and I don't know if you can see it down there, but that little hump down there on the bike rack itself is in the way, so you can't open up that storage door with the bike rack installed. So that's a little bit of a downside to this, but we're just gonna have to manage it. You know, when we pull in, we'll just take the bike rack off. And then the other thing is, we actually had to put the handlebars down on these bikes. Basically what was happening was, with those handlebars up, there's still movement on this bike rack. Now this is a pretty solid bike rack that I can tell so far, but it did bounce around enough that I was afraid that the handlebars were going to basically bounce off of the back of the rig here. Obviously don't want that, so we just put the handlebars down, folded them down, and then put the cover over it. So we're gonna see how this works out today, and we'll give you an update once we get to our next spot as to how this worked out. The only thing that I wish I had back here is a camera somewhere to monitor these things as we're going down the road to see what they're doing. I do have the rear view camera up there. I don't think that thing points down far enough to see what's going on the bike rack. But anyway, we'll let you know how it works out when we get to wherever we're going. I have no idea where that is. Candace is the master route planner, so I think it's only about 150 miles, but we'll see how it works out, and we'll let you know.
All right, we are successfully on the road. We are out of Tampa, I think. We're definitely on the north end of Tampa, and we left just in time. Tampa's gonna get hit with rain this afternoon, so luckily we missed that. Where we're going, the rain is supposed to be done by the time we get there. Unfortunately, they're also under a wind advisory until 4 o'clock, and so 20 to 30 mile an hour winds with frequent 40 mile an hour gusts. So Jeremy might be white knuckling it at times on this drive.
Yeah, I can feel it. It's not very often I can feel the wind towing this thing, but yeah, I can feel it today. And 40 mile an hour, you know, isn't really that much when you're just sitting there in your rig. I mean, it's obviously not going to tip over or anything, but it's still a little disconcerting when the wind is that high and you can feel the whole rig shaking. I hate setting up in the wind. I just broke down this morning in probably 30 mile an hour winds, and then gonna have to set up on it, and I don't like it. Yeah, maybe I'll wait till tomorrow morning.
I mean, just do the
water
basics.
Yeah. Wait till tomorrow morning. Yeah. We'll see.
In today's episode of Would You Rather? Would you rather be attacked by red ants?
No.
Or mosquitoes?
Well, the red ants make you look like you have something. They get all white and pussy.
So they're less attractive?
Yeah, and then mosquitoes, I mean, generally don't have too much of a problem with mosquitoes. I put a little itch cream on it and I'm good. So, mosquitoes for sure.
I would tend to agree, even though mosquitoes don't, for the most part, bother me. They don't really like me. But red ants, oh my gosh, those things burn and itch, at least for me, for like 2 days. Now, for 2 jokes.
Oh boy,
right.
here we go, guys.
Yep, yucca yucca.
If you're gonna turn off the video, do it now or hit the next chapter.
All right. What can fill a room but takes no space?
Sound.
That's a good answer. My answer was light, or that was the answer to the question.
That's not a joke. That's a riddle.
Okay, a riddle, sorry. So these are...
I hope it wasn't a joke.
These are riddles, yeah. All right.
Although that's about as funny as your jokes.
I'm funny. All right, another riddle. What tastes better than it smells?
Probably lots of things. Broccoli,
It's not what you
cauliflower. I don't know then.
think. The tongue. Because the tongue tastes but doesn't smell.
Is that true? Like, I guess, like if you plug your nose, it's like people say when you go into the bathroom, somebody's, putting a load in, dropping the kids off at the pool, breathe through your mouth. I'm like, I'm not breathing through my mouth.
I don't want the stench in my mouth.
Then you have what we call Sharticles in your mouth. I don't do Sharticles in my mouth.
You don't do Sharticles? Do you do Sharticles anywhere else?
I mean, if I have to mouth or nose, it's going through the nose.
Why is the nose better?
Because it's not going in my mouth.
I do tend to agree. I mean, if it's a matter of like breathing in an awful stench, I would rather breathe it through my nose.
Yeah, me
than
too.
my mouth. Because, yeah. Bleh. All right, so we're going to see if we can make the rest of this drive. Hopefully, we're going to miss the band of thunderstorms that it looks like we might be hitting. I think they might go just north of us, hopefully. And hopefully this wind dies down. Right now,
It's not bad. It's not bad right now.
Yeah, the rig has been doing a little bit of moving today, and that is not normal. So can't wait to get in. We have 38 miles to go. Woohoo! Daddy's mean.
We thought that was funny.
Not funny.
Guys, look at this. How gross that is. We went through some nasty rain, and then we went through some dirt. They were doing some construction, dust flying across the highway, so we're gross. Well, we were trying to find our way down to a natural spring. We looked it up last night. It's supposed to stay 72 degrees
Year-round, I
year
think.
round. Not warm enough to get into. Walked about a half a mile down here, and it looks like You got to pass through this. It looks like a city park over here. We got about half a mile down here. And then we see this right here. No pets beyond this point. And then there's another sign right across the street. No pets beyond this point. And then there's a camper over there, which I'm assuming there's somebody in there just peering out the window all the time, looking for dogs.
Yeah, so I mean, Wicket got a walk, but now we're going to have to come back without him.
Yeah,
see the springs.
Yeah, tomorrow maybe. It's freaking cold. We are, where are we at? Town?
We are actually in Hart Springs.
Oh, we're in Hart Springs. Okay, so.
Close to Bell, Florida. I don't know.
It's farther north than Tampa, about 150 miles, something like that. North and west, I think. But it's a little bit colder up here. We got down to 32 early this morning. Supposed to get down to 27 tomorrow. I don't like this. But we'll try this again tomorrow without the dog, because it's supposed to be 60 degrees tomorrow. Whopping. Yeah, and that's the warmest day that we're going to be here. So we'll try and find those springs tomorrow with no pet.
Yeah.
Stupid. But it wasn't a total waste. It was a nice walk back here. You got to keep an eye out. Probably not so much right now because it's so cold. But obviously got to keep an eye out for the gators and the snakes because it's Florida.
Yeah. But, I mean, I know that they're not very active right now in this temperature, but Jeremy had a good question that we're going to have to look up when we get back to the rig is, okay, so if there's gators out here, and they're not really active right now, where are they?
Yeah, what do they do when they're not out terrorizing people?
Yeah. Are they in the water? Are they hiding under a log? Where are they?
Okay, where are we going? Oh, I'll come down so that I'm not way taller.
We are going to Manatee Springs State Park.
So what are we going to see at Manatee Springs State Park?
Hopefully some manatees.
As you can see, we both have jackets on.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
No.
It didn't get as cold as they said it was supposed to get last night, but it still got down a little bit below freezing.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be like 27 was the low, and it was supposed to be like that for like 6 or 7 hours. And of course, so I disconnected all the water yesterday just to be safe.
Yep.
I got up this morning and the low was like 31.
And it's still colder than we like. Jeremy had said a couple weeks ago he didn't want it any lower than 40 at night, and look at us.
Well, this trip to Texas is screwing us because it looks like it's going to be below 40 a lot. Okay, here we are, and we lucked out.
Yep.
It's going to be hard to see in this picture. We got some close-ups. The manatees are right out here, maybe 40 yards off of this pier. And we've got an alligator way over there. I had to zoom way in on the phone. And then another gator, he's out there in the water.
Yep. Just his head is poking up.
Yeah, it looks like he's slowly coming in here, but it wasn't a total bust.
No.
If the wind wasn't blowing, there'd be less ripples in the water and we might be able to get better shots, but that's not the case. And it's nice out here. It's just super pretty. I mean, look at all this. So the spring feeds out into the Suwannee River, and you said this is a level 1 or category 1?
First magnitude spring. I'm not sure what that means, but it does say here that the spring like pumps out 100 million gallons a day.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. So hopefully we'll be able to find something about what a level 1
first magnitude
spring is. We'll pop it up on the screen for you.
There you go.
'Cause I have no idea what that means. I think we said earlier this is the spring water here is about 72 degrees year round. And look right there, that's a pretty good shot right there maybe.
Yeah.
Of those manatees. One of them just came up, a couple of them.
They don't come up for very long, so you just kind of get these brief little glimpses of just their noses.
Yep. All right, well, we're going to move on, see what else there is to see. Oh, also, I don't know if you can see it. There's just a butt ton of turkey vultures. I'm gonna guess this is a good feeding spot for them. That's a lot of turkey vultures though, in the trees. Not in the air, they're in the trees. Got one over there. He's got his wings spread. He's just sitting up there with his wings spread, looking all manly. So, all right, we're gonna move on. And we found another gator right back here. It's between this V in the trees. Over here, he's just sitting on the other side over there, just doing a little sunbathing on the edge of where the spring kind of flows out to the river. I think that wraps it up for this park, right? For the Manatee Springs Park.
Yes.
So there's a campground here. We'll see if we can drive through it on the way out and see what that looks like. It's a nice park. You can see back here. There's there's a pavilion over there, even picnics, and there's a playground, all kinds of stuff. And I don't know, I think it'd be a pretty cool place to stay, especially if you got kids, if you're willing to risk their lives in going swimming in the springs here with the alligators. But I imagine it's pretty safe. There are signs up warning about the alligators, but there's nothing that says don't swim.
Yeah, I mean, there are multiple places to get in to the water.
All right, so we said this is 72 degrees all year round, and I know it's colder outside, so it's going to feel a little warmer, but how's that feel?
It's surprisingly warm.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I would totally get in. And I can't imagine if alligator attacks were frequent that they'd be letting people swim.
Yeah, and they've got some kayaks too that you can rent. Yeah, I imagine it's pretty safe based on the fact that they're not preventing anybody from getting in the water here. And they got a little shop here, so let's go check them out. I might need a snack.
They might be closed. Oh no, I see lights.
See if they got some donuts or cookies or something, guys.
Of course, because, his sweet tooth.
And we almost forgot to talk about cost. So it costs us $6 to get in here.
Yeah, $6 per vehicle with up to 8 passengers, I think.
Yeah, so don't know what the camping fees are. Maybe we'll throw a little something up here and put the camping fees up here. But I just wanted to let you know, $6 to get in to the park per vehicle for 8 people. So
and totally worth it with the alligators and definitely the manatees. That was $6 well spent. Yeah. Or $6 well spent. So with 2024 coming to a close, we just kind of wanted to take a look back at what we did, where we went, and some of the numbers related to our full time on the road. Because as many of you know, we were stationary for about a year helping to take care of Jeremy's dad, and we weren't able to hit the road again full time until about the middle of May. So we had done one trip in the spring down to Tennessee, but the full timing didn't start until the middle of May. So we've got 6.5 months under our belt for 2024 for full-time RVing. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about our mileage, our fuel, our camping breakdowns. So private campgrounds versus military versus boondocking, the money that we spent. We're going to talk about the states that we visited and some of the cool things that we saw. And then we're going to touch kind of briefly on where we're going to go looking forward for 2025. I've got the first half of the year planned out and whatnot, but the second half of the year is still up in the air, but we'll go ahead and give you kind of a sneak peek at what our thoughts are and what we're thinking. All right, so we'll go ahead and start with the mileage and the fuel costs. And as you can see here, we drove a total of 6,291 miles. We purchased a total of 801.8 gallons of diesel for a total fuel cost of $2,721.74. So we ran the numbers, and that came out to an average of $3.39 a gallon. How did we get those savings? We primarily use open roads when we're hauling. So we use open roads mainly because they're easy in, easy out, because they're all trucker friendly. but we also use them because a lot of times they tend to be the cheapest option out there once you factor in the discount. So average over those 801 gallons, we ended up saving about 36 cents a gallon, which is pretty decent. So that came up just by using the Open Roads fuel program. We saved a total of $290.09, which that's not as big as some people will see, but it's based on our driving. If you travel a lot more miles, you're going to see bigger savings. But for us, last year in 6.5 months, we saved $290, which I think is pretty good. So with that, I kind of did a little bit of research and I looked up some products that were in that $290 range that we could have purchased with our savings. So one of the things, we could have purchased an EcoFlow 500 watt portable power station. You know how much Jeremy loves his power stations, and they've come in handy quite a few times. The other thing, which we couldn't live without, we probably use it at least once a week, if not more than that, is our Pit Boss tabletop pellet grill. Those things are amazing and totally worth its weight. The next thing, which we've never really considered in the past, we thought it was more of a hassle and we weren't really going to use it, but after being in the southeast over the fall and kind of beginning of winter and dealing with the mosquitoes and the no-see-ums, we really would like to get a clam pop-up screen tent. We did not have much of a chance to sit outside because of the darn bugs, but with a clam pop-up tent, we would have been able to sit outside and enjoy being in the campground more. And the last thing is a Power Watchdog surge protector, which I think everybody needs. Whether or not it's the Power Watchdog, you really need a surge protector. So that $290 savings could have been one of those surge protectors. All right, so now moving on to the various places that we stayed, the different types of lodging that we stayed at over the year. So we were on the road for a total of 243 nights. We spent $7,972. Now that was just the camping lodging fees, so our overnight fees. And that breaks down to about $33 a night, which I think is pretty good. All right, so to break that down, we spent 65 nights in private campgrounds, 59 nights in military fam camps. We spent 33 nights at either a Harvest Host or a Boondocker's Welcome, 31 nights mooch docking with friends or family, 26 nights at various state parks, 17 nights at the 3 rallies/RV shows that we attended, and 12 nights at either a city or a county park. So as you can see from the pie chart over here, little over half of our camping was spent at either a private campground or a military campground, and that's probably going to hold true for 2025 as well. All right, as far as states visited, we visited 13 states this year. So we started off in Indiana, went up into Michigan, Wisconsin, down into Kentucky, Alabama, Tennessee, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and then we finished it off in Florida. So that's a lot of states and a lot of miles that we traveled, and we got to see some really interesting things over the year, some places that we've never been. We got to reconnect with old friends, and we had a really great time. We had a lot of ups, we had a few downs.
To see rolling.
We're currently in Linden, Tennessee. We're going to be here all week at a friend's place. This place is pretty beautiful. What do you guys think so far?
Excellent. It's pretty great so far. I mean, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere, but I like it.
We got no plans. Good things come to those who can.
All right, so the boat broke down, and Candace is paddling now.
They're just waiting on you and me, so look alive, 'cause while I was waiting for you.
We found this cool OG playground that looks like it was built somewhere around, I don't know, 1980 something. so that was just a great way to end this Michigan trip. I actually can't think of a better way to have ended it.
So Jeremy had originally tried to back us up between a flatbed and a bumper pull, and that didn't give him a wide enough radius to make the turn out of there. So we reconfigured and we said, okay, we're gonna back into the space between, there was a fifth wheel parked there and then that bumper pull. And it was a little bit farther down, so he was doing that, thought it was good. Dave said, hey, you should be able to make that turn now. I'm in the back, I'm watching. He pulls forward, everything is going swimmingly until like that last little bit. All right, you're clear. Okay, stop. Go forward, go forward.
Why?
Because you just hit his trailer, go forward. All right, you're clear now.
Take a number, take in a name. If you're code at the door, and welcome to the game. Taking over, taking the blame. We all make it out without going insane.
What are you ladies drinking?
Bourbon.
Bourbon?
Yeah, I don't remember. Green River.
We got this shirt here.
Oh, yes.
Introverted but willing to discuss bourbon. That's perfect for right now.
It is.
Yep.
Cheers.
No eating straight from the dishes.
Okay, I guess.
All right. Yeah, you can't lick the spoon and then put it back in there, so don't do that. I'd put any amount of paychecks, that's broken right there. The pinky toe, it doesn't look like that normally. Dog was throwing up and I was trying to get him outside and I lost my balance. I guess I kicked the corner of the wall over there and I knew right away it was broken. That toe's mangled.
That toe is mangled.
I got my nurse here doing the best she can.
Nurse Candace.
Hey, what do you say?
I don't feel like this is going to go very well.
Town could be red by the end of the day. If you feel alright, we could throw it and drive.
This is just how I want it.
Radio world so loud they can hear us from miles. Me and you, nothing to do. These days they come and go. Me and you, nothing to lose. I feel it in my soul. So let's let the good times roll.
All right, so that's a wrap for 2024. So heading into 2025, we are leaving Florida. We do have a couple weeks here in Florida, but we are going to be doing Georgia, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, Tennessee, and Indiana. So that's going to take us January through the end of June. I've got that all planned out. We know exactly where we're going to stay, what we're going to do. After that, starting in July, is where things get a little iffy. So as you know, we've mentioned Jeremy's going to do the NRVTA inspector and technician courses, and we're going to try to build a business out of that. So we're looking at kind of staying maybe a month in each spot instead of moving weekly. We're not quite sure how that's going to work yet, but ideally we want to go from Indiana at the end of June to Arizona, New Mexico, Texas for the winter. So that's a lot of mileage to cover. We're not quite sure, like I said, how we're gonna work it, but that's kind of the plan. If you guys have any ideas for those 6 months and getting us down into that warmer climate, starting probably, in December, that'd be great. Go ahead and pop them down in the comments. Tell us where we should go, what we should see. We would love to see them, and I'm sure other viewers would love to see them as well. So we hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe button, and while you're down there, go ahead and hit that bell button to be notified for all of our future videos. And don't forget to come back next week as we continue our journey out west to meet our friends in Texas.